And welcome back to All Over the Map. We have the news of the day for the 9th of March, 2022. This is the game where we feature 5 news events of the day and play it on GeoGuessr and bring you the news articles. So let's get into it. And we normally do this as a no time limit moving aloud challenge. And as always, the play along link for the news of the day is in the description below. So let's get right into it and see the first news event of today, and looks like we're off to icebergs and penguins and people in boats. So what's going on here in Antarctica? Well, let's take a look at it, and we've got Shackleton's lost ship is found in Antarctic. Scientists have found and filmed one of the greatest ever undiscovered shipwrecks 107 years after it sank. The Endurance, the lost vessel of Antarctic explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton, was found at the weekend at the bottom of the Weddell Sea. The ship was crushed by sea ice and sank in 1915, forcing Shackleton and his men to make an astonishing escape on foot and in small boats. Video of the remains show Endurance to be in remarkable condition, and it's been sitting in 3 kilometers or 10,000 feet of water for over a century. So this is fascinating for me. As you see here, the Endurance, pretty cool news article. The first pictures of it. And here's the last voyage map of Shackleton's Endurance ship. We've featured the South Georgia islands there. We've in a previous game, and you see this here. This is a pretty in-depth article, and like always, the article is in the description below. So if you want to read this, that's there. Let's find out where this was. Although, like many of these games, you're not going to find the exact location because obviously there's no photosphere or whatever. But we're going to come close. The Weddell Sea, I should say. Waddle. I'm thinking of waddling, I guess, with the penguins. Walk like a penguin, right? So somewhere out in this area here of the world, if we take a look, we've got the South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands here. And I think for this one, there weren't many photospheres to go off of, but I think it was off of this little tiny island here. I'm just going to guess there. And 863 yards, 4,998 points near Paulette Island, Antarctica. Pretty cool story. The Endurance found 10,000 feet below the surface of the ocean, the sea. All right, what do we got here for the next news, event of the day, or an interesting news event? We got a bunch of cheese heads here. Right there, we've got the Lambeau Field, which is the home of the Green Bay Packers of the National Football League. National Football League is American football, for those that don't know, but maybe most of you do know. And what's the big story there? Well, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers agreed to terms on a 4-year, $200 million extension. Green Bay is putting money where its mouth is, agreeing with the, get this, 38-year-old Aaron Rodgers on a 4-year extension worth $200 million, including $153 million in guaranteed money. This deal makes Aaron Rodgers the highest paid player in NFL history on an annual basis. So I want to point that out there because this is the highest, one of the biggest leagues in the world in terms of sport. And this guy is the highest paid player in its history. Not too bad for a 38-year-old. It's just insane when you think it could be $250,000, this guy. Okay, so do you see anybody wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey in this picture? Yes, this guy has number 12. Not as many as you would think. This guy clearly is having a bunch of fun, as is this guy, I think. But, a lot of Miller Lights being drunk in this stadium. Let's look and find out where Lambeau Field is. It's in Green Bay for all of you. I picked this for a couple of reasons. One, for a game, I think most of you that might not be familiar, might have heard Green Bay Packers, but most of you might not realize how small of a town it is, considering typically most American sports are Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, New York, Indianapolis, right? St. Louis, all these big cities. Well, Green Bay is this little town up here in northern Wisconsin. I would say it's not little, probably compared to a lot of places in the world, but it's small for the United States to have a major league team. And a top team, for that matter, as well. So Lambeau Field, here it is, the Packers Hall of Fame. I think we were right in this part of the stadium. And, yeah, 70 yards, 5,000 points. Aaron Rodgers, the highest paid player in the NFL. Okay, so we've got, looks like a Estonian flag. And we've got a Jeep, which is always interesting. American vehicle of sorts. And we got a lot of stuff going on here. I think this is the head of government or in Finland. Well, what's the deal here? Well, what was interesting is the Estonian Prime Minister promises lightning-quick ratification if Finland submits NATO application. Prime Minister Sanna Marin met her Estonian counterpart Kaja Kallas in Tallinn on Monday. Finland's debate on NATO membership was on the agenda, so they did meet. The other thing is, it's always cool to see women in positions of heads of government, which is always unique. And I knew Finland, but Estonia I didn't even know. I mean, I'm a little, I guess, ignorant on that. I didn't know that the Estonian Prime Minister was a woman, so it's good that they're both there. Other thing I read is that there's quite a few, I think it was a CNN article, quite a few women in Finland that are at seats of government that are in their 30s, which is always great to see. Somebody like myself that has daughters, it's always good to say that you could be, a leader of your country, the United States. You could be a leader of a country, whatever. So always cool to see this. So Finland decide to apply for NATO membership. Estonia will ratify a session at lightning speed, she said in a press conference. And they did get together. Thought this was just an interesting article. Again, like I said, there's some good articles here if you're from Finland. The other thing I saw here, Finland's peat production restarting to replace Russian wood as the sanctions and the shutdown of a lot of the energy is happening in that part of the world. So let's take a look at where we are here. This is obviously, you can see there's an Estonian flag here. So Tallinn in Estonia, which is right across from Finland. I wonder how long it takes. Comment down below if you're watching this. How long does it take to get from Helsinki to Tallinn on a ferry? It'd be always interesting to hear the distance on that, because one of these days, when I travel with this channel all over the map, this is going to be on my to-do list. Go from Tallinn to Helsinki or Helsinki to Tallinn. Okay, so enough of that. I think we're here at the Riksdagshuset Parliament building over here. This is the seat of government in Estonia. I'm just going to click there. 51 yards, 5,000 points. The meeting of the minds with Estonia and Finland. Okay, so now we transition into the events going on in Ukraine and that part of the world. As you see here is a Ukrainian flag, and there's a big park here. So there's a kids park. I guess that means park. I'm not really sure Cyrillic, but it looks like a pretty interesting place. Hopefully all this stuff's remained intact for the most part. I would pray that would be the case, hopefully. But if not, hopefully they can rebuild this, because one of the things that I wanted to feature that I thought was just a unique article was somewhere in here is a tennis court. Okay? And I saw this and I thought, man, this is pretty cool. I'd love to be, a lot of ads going on here. I'd love to be in a position like this. It says, I hope I live to reach 100, the world's oldest tennis player staying put in Ukraine war zone. So this guy, tough guy, this guy here, the world's oldest tennis player, Ukrainian Leonid Stanislavski, 97 practices on a court in Kharkiv, Ukraine. This is pretty great article. 4 months after 97-year-old amateur Leonid Stanislavski's dream came true when he played with 21 times Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal, the Ukrainian is enduring his worst nightmare in Kharkiv as Russian forces bomb the city. He holds the Guinness World Record as the world's oldest tennis player and says he hopes to reach 100 and he's going to stay put, not going anywhere. And this guy survived the Second World War when he was an engineer who helped build Soviet warplanes to fight the Nazis. Just amazing. Guy's still going. And that's great. I mean, I just love seeing that sort of stuff. Hopefully I'm at that age doing something active, whether it's playing football, soccer for us in the United States, or other sports. But pretty good article there. Like I said, these articles are in the description below. So let's find out where this is. It's Kharkiv. This gentleman is staying put, hopefully to play tennis once things subside and once the weather gets a little better. Hopefully, let's pray for everybody that they're able to do, and this guy in particular, to do what he loves to do at 97 years old. So let's see here. Sports Palace Park. Where were we? I think we were at the Central Park Tennis Club or somewhere around here in the Maxim Gorky Central Park for Culture and Recreation in Kharkiv, Ukraine. 35 yards, 5,000 points. And we'll get off to the fifth and final round of the news of the day. And we go to Russia. The next one here. Why? Because McDonald's is closing down in Russia, as are other things. Iconic U.S. brands Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, and Starbucks suspend business in Russia. And we have this article here. McDonald's is closing in Russia. Its first USSR restaurant was a sensation. You see the picture here. I thought this would be an interesting thing here. Here's the picture here as it was in, I believe, there it is, January 31st, 1990. There's an interesting article here that was originally published the day after it opened under the headline, Moscow Plays Catch Up. Factory worker Mikhail Nikoligo stood beneath a pair of glistening golden arches, preaching to the crowd with the enthusiasm of a convert. He had seen the future, and it tasted good. Tell us, what is this Big Mac? The Bolshoi Mac, comrades. So, interesting how it says he sees the future, tastes good, McDonald's, and we look at this, and there it is today. McDonald's closed down, opening 1990, closed down in 2022, at least suspended for now. We're going to find out where this is. Probably, interestingly enough, just a little commentary for me, McDonald's probably not the best thing anyway. I mean, it's good for, I don't know, what? Good for kids and a good burger here from there, but probably not the best to be eating day in and day out. That said, I think people will probably miss this in this part of the world. Okay, so where was this place? We're in here. Kind of forget where this is, but that's why I don't think we're this far out. I think could be wrong. Let's see. Was this it? McDonald's? No, there isn't McDonald's there. That is not it. Well, folks, I think we were near there. I'm just going to guess it here anyway. Oh, that's right. No, we were further. closer to the city center. The McDonald's is there on near Tversky Boulevard and Tverskaya Street on Bolshaya. Not really sure what that says, but in any case, there we were. The McDonald's closing down in Russia. So we got 24,992. All the news event articles are in the description below. If you have an interesting news event or want me to include your country's news events, or you want me to include a certain news article, comment down below or send an email to alloverthemap23@gmail.com, and I'll include it in the next news of the day. Try to get out about 3 news of the day games per week, maybe more depending on situation, circumstance. But that's the goal. We'll try to get it on Tuesday, Wednesdays, or Thursdays typically, and maybe one on the weekend. With that said, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and thanks for tuning in. Until next time, cheers.